boring character. It was probably not his fault, the characters that he were given, but he was given one terrible character after another.
Yeah. I mean, the style he's working is like a big man style, isn't it? Here, he's really trying to go for that, like a sort of like jacked up kind of guy. A lot of brawling going on for him. It almost reminds me of Batista when I first used to watch him wrestle. That kind of style, chucking
that was
people
another one of
into
the things where when Batista first showed up, I didn't really see the star potential in him. But when you keep at it and you put in the solid performances, sometimes it pays off. But I don't think it was ever going to be destined that way for Bob Buchanan, and I think everyone knew that from the start.
Yeah. Let's see a wrestling move now. Here we go, suplex.
Finally.
Yeah, I don't think, even if I was watching back then, I would have thought Bob Buchanan will be the next King of the Ring. If I'm completely honest with you. Don't see that at all.
That was a really weak double X handle.
Bad, that was. Now, Matt, when we watched King of the Ring 99 last time, of course, we ended up with what I guess a lot of people would say they would consider was a weak kind of King of the Ring. Do you think that, I mean, when after we saw that and you looked what happened with him, do you think people were a little bit coming up to the point of where's the value in King of the Ring at this time? Like was that the rub starting to wear off? Do you think?
It was actually beginning to feel that way. But I think, if I was looking at it this time around, I'd be looking at the participants in this King of the Ring and I'd be thinking, well, it looks a little bit more stacked and the faces in it are pretty fresh. Like they're new, some of them are quite new to the WWE. And I suppose it's easier to look back in hindsight at how talented these guys were, but hopefully at the time people would have appreciated that they were quite talented as well.
Yeah, we would have had Shamrock and Billy Gunn, who didn't really amount to too much, did they? As far as sort of title shots or anything like that. But of course, before that, it's a completely different ball game. Triple H and Steve Austin. So that effect is crazy. But certainly the magic of King of the Ring hadn't worked in the last 2 years prior. So this was certainly a time.
This one I got to say looked a lot more promising with the actual talent they have on the card here.
Sure. So, I think maybe that was a kind of a subconscious thing that WWE, they knew they had to kind of bring it back a little bit and put a little bit more emphasis on the tournament as far as anything else goes. And we'll set a roll up there going on. There's a lot of stuff, and that's a win. I didn't know if he completely got it, and there he goes, he's running off already. I like it. So gets a nice little roll up. And Bob Buchanan, well, I guess I'm inclined to say he was lucky to probably be on the pay-per-view side of it.
Maybe it was a tryout for him, but it didn't pay off that well.
Nice little. There it is. Reserve his energy. Doesn't want to get beat up. And so Crash is now through to the next round.
I've got to say, the next match in the King of the Ring looks very special. It looks very entertaining.
Yeah, it's a big match, isn't it, that one? And then now we've got Linda McMahon on the phone. And there's Vinny. There's Vince himself. Always remember him dressed like that. He'd always wear just the top underneath the jacket. That is the Vince midlife crisis, I think, as far as I look at him there. And of course, his character was very much. It had run its course a little bit through '99, but he never got old with him. Like today, I look at it and I get fed up with the authority thing, but Vince was just so good at reinventing himself. Like there was, you thought that would be the end of him, like last WrestleMania and all the rest of it, but he always managed somehow, Matt, he was back again. He was like the constant villain in like a TV show that just kept coming back with new things.
and nothing was too outrageous for him, was it? You never thought, whoa, wait a minute, that's ridiculous. Because after the character he sort of built up for himself, he was like, that crazy old man's capable of anything.
Yeah, yeah. So this is without a doubt a squabble going on between these two. I can tell that much.
It's a very divided family at this point.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, even though I can't hear it, I just love the way Vince, like the facial expressions. It's like the whole angry face. Can't imagine what it's like to live with this guy. And the McMahon, you know, again, this was a time. I mean, really, I know she got behind Mick Foley. She was in his corner at WrestleMania, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Because there was a McMahon in every corner, and she'd sort of stayed loyal to being the good person for most of the time, really, in WWE. I think there was only one time where I saw her turn on, and that was in against Austin in like one of these kind of like anniversary Raw shows. I don't know if you can remember that, where she sort of turned. I think it was on Jim Ross, in fact.
Oh no,
When
no, I
she
actually don't
died.
remember that one.
Yeah, look that up, anybody. That's probably the only time she's ever been a heel, and she was very good at it, by the way, very good at it. And here we go, Kurt Angle now coming out, the Olympic gold medalist. It's true, it's true. The three eyes, yeah. Intensity, integrity, and intelligence, as I remember. The American hero, it said there underneath his name. Really, did this guy, Matt? I mean, like, he got the character so down to a T, and it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, he was a legit athlete in the Olympics, and he took to this like a duck in water. I mean, he was so good at it. He never had a problem. You see a lot of these other guys like Dan Severn, and a lot of people uncomfortable coming from sort of an athletic background and competitive background. But this guy, he took to it so quickly, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely says something. I think he had one of the fastest rises through the ranks in WWE of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he have like nearly every title in the first year of his career?
I believe he did. Yeah, I think him and Shawn Michaels hold that record. In fact, I believe that when they actually finally got to their match at WrestleMania 21, that is one of the things that was brought up in the feud. About them sort of holding all the titles in quick succession, and having all of them. I think they're two of only certain caliber that have held all the belts that were available at one time, I believe, as well.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
It just makes Kurt Angle's one even more impressive though, because he did it all within his debut year.
Yeah, absolutely. So this guy, he had a very, very quick rise indeed, and like I say, really took to this character. Really enjoyed his character. Because he done so well with it, and here we go. Here's another tremendous character, I guess, who's been around and still around today, Matt. Chris Jericho.
Oh yeah, what a true athlete, to make the things that he does at the age of 45, and he's still doing the things that he did 16 years ago. That's incredible conditioning. Yeah,
absolutely. This guy is. Just never stopped, has he? But the thing with Jericho is, and I know people go, "Oh, he did take time off," but whenever he comes back, Matt, he doesn't just do the couple of shows. He does a stint, doesn't he? He works the whole schedule. He does house shows, so he is there. And I think the fact that he has done that is probably why he's lasted a lot longer in a lot of ways as well. And let's face it, if he was around all the time, he's probably going to get lost. But by doing this, it always gives him something new to work with and different talent to work with, which is pretty cool. And Jericho as a face or as a heel, just an incredible performer all round from this guy.
It's always an interesting time at this point as well. Like, how were there so many people with such great charisma and that they could work a mic that good? And these days, we're so limited by the people that can actually talk as well as Jericho can. But back then, you had like Jericho, The Rock, and even Austin could talk. Even though we just saw Kurt Angle was great on there, Triple H, anyone that came out at the top kind of tier could just run the show on the mic. But now it's very limited.
Yeah, I think we are. does show you where we are today. But yeah, this is a great quarterfinals match. I dare say one of the strongest that we've ever had in a quarterfinal. And there's Theodore Long, the referee there, straight in this match. So his refereeing days, and Kurt Angle, nice suplex there, belly to belly. There you go. So good at that, Kurt Angle, made it look so easy when he done his moves. This is
this is a match that even 16 years on could be one of the main matches at WrestleMania.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't remember too many times them working too many programs with one another, Matt. To be honest with you, Jericho and Angle. I don't know if that's just me, but I just don't remember it.
I guess this year, 2000, is the one that stands out most in my mind because I remember from the WrestleMania the triple threat that they had as well.
Yeah. So far, a really nice pace to this. And again, these two, on paper, I would have said either of these guys could have gone on and won it. Without a doubt. In fact, I probably would have gone with Jericho. Had I not known anything, I would have probably picked Jericho in this one, just from where he was coming from.
Yeah, I guess at the time I would have been sort of rooting for Jericho. I think at the time when Kurt Angle was there during his first year, he did his job so well that he did actually make me not like him.
Yeah, he's very, very good at that, without a doubt. Classic Jericho there. All these things we take for granted, back then, didn't we? Really know what we'd sort of come to.
Yeah, people really should I don't know. They should appreciate Jericho while they can, because how many years has the guy got left? I know he's he's great in the ring and he could do it for easily a few more years, but you never know, do you? When they reach that age in the mid-40s, it could all just be taken away in an instant.
Absolutely. I was trying to work out what those guys had on, what it spelt on those the guys in the white top with the letters on it. If it actually said Kurt, couldn't quite work it out. But there you go.
Definitely some interesting signs there. Very colourful, I would say, that some of the words they use. You don't really see that anymore. You don't even see half the amount of crowd signs like that anymore.
No, I think someone was asking me about that the other day that used to watch wrestling when I watched it, and they said they saw it on TV the other night, and they just couldn't believe that the signs had kind of gone. They'd phased out. Because it was such a big thing at one time, Matt. As soon as Raw come on, everyone would lift the signs, and you'd have your sign on there. But nowadays, it's kind of unheard of, really, isn't it? I mean, you get signs, but not. There was a time where everybody had signs. Crazy amount of stuff. But that is something that's been lost, hasn't it? Over time.
Yeah. A bit of a shame, really, because I always used to enjoy reading them. Some people come up with some hilarious ones in the past.
Yeah, you do get some funny. I mean, nowadays people seem to enjoy taking cutouts of people's heads, like celebrity heads. I see in the background now and then. You'll just get really random people. There was one WrestleMania. I remember it really well. I think it was WrestleMania 31, and Glenn Johnson, the footballer, was in the background so much, especially in the segment of Ronda Rousey. It just threw my attention straight off. I was like, "What the hell? That's very random. Why have they done that?" But yeah, you do get that a lot. Must be the new craze, I guess, for people to do. So far, really enjoying this match. Very, very quick pace. And I think when we go back to our sort of earlier retrospectives of King of the Ring match, this reminds me more of the Bret Hart kind of Kurt Hennig and Owen Hart, that kind of style when I'm looking at Kurt Angle and Jericho.
Yeah, definitely the harder sort of workhorses of the night here, putting on the show, and then probably got a lot to prove in this kind of match. So it also makes it all the more better because quite early on in their WWE careers, got a lot to prove.
Absolutely, yeah. And so this would have been the year, Matt, that Angle would have gone in as the Inter sort of European champion, I guess, as he was called then. He had both the belts, didn't he? And then he kind of walked out with nothing, as far as I recall.
Yep. that was must have been a bit disheartening.
Yeah. See Kurt Angle trying to get those pins. Did we